Okay, today's our seventh practice, I believe. Um, Work in progress for sure. Effort's really um, noticeable. Always is, but this year guys are playing extremely hard. Um, Dedication and kind of buy-in is really impressive. We've had a couple off days in our early journey already. In the off days, you always kind of learn the pulse of your team on an off day, what's going on. Gym's been filled with guys. Weight room's been active on off days, so that's been nice. Couple things program-wise. Always appreciate you guys helping us out. We couldn't do this without you guys, right? Trying to get the information out. But next week we're practicing in the Moody Center quite a bit. And Tuesday is an open practice for the students. Doors open at 7 o'clock Tuesday night. We will have already been practicing for about half the practice, and then when the students come in at 7, we're going to have it set up all the way down to like game day setup, so the students will actually be able to sit in the corral, which is the lower section of the bowl, 270 degrees. So 7 o'clock, free food for the students, a couple of giveaways, I believe. Students are going to be able to take a picture with our team after practice, so some things like that. But that'll be an open practice, 7 o'clock Tuesday. As we build this corral that we've talked about, there's some steps along the way. We certainly had a great first step, a week ago or so, when Matthew and Charles had everybody out there on the east side. This is kind of the second domino, the open practice Tuesday. Then the third domino in this deal will be the exhibition game against Arkansas, which is on Saturday, October 29th. I think it's a 3 o'clock tip. Also really could use y'all's help kind of spreading the word on how the tickets are working on that. The season ticket holders got first crack at that to buy the exhibition ticket. NCAA rules, it can't be a part of the season ticket package. The proceeds are going to go to 2 local charities in Austin that we're really proud that basically help kids. Season ticket holders, all the tickets left there, then it goes into like just different kinds of Longhorn factors. I don't know the specifics, but people get invited to buy the tickets, encourage them to do so. The final piece will be tickets will be available, whatever's left, for the general public. Students, though, are in a great spot for the Arkansas game. We'll fill the corral down low, around 1,300 seats, and then we have the upper deck corral is going to be open, so I would estimate that student tickets won't be a problem for that Arkansas game. We'll be able to handle a lot of thousands of students can come to that Arkansas game. Next piece I wanted to mention, I know the player access is important to y'all. It's important to us. We want you guys to tell our players' stories. Our players are Texas basketball. It's not Scotty Mack. It's not me. It's probably more Scotty Mack than me, but it's the players. So today you guys met 2 great guys, man, 2 great human beings, 2 great guys that I have really enjoyed being around. You know, Tyrese Hunter, had a relationship with him because we recruited him out of high school. And then certainly when he got in the portal from Iowa State, as did every other coach in the country, we reached out to him and had kind of an immediate connection because of our past experience recruiting him when he was in high school. But Tyrese is a tremendous story off the court. He's got a beautiful family with many siblings, brothers, and you know, had a special high school coach, Coach Bennett, one of the best high school coaches in the country. So there's a lot of things with Tyrese off the court that make him special. But he himself, man, it's awesome. You're talking about one of the best players in college basketball, in my opinion, an NBA prospect, in my opinion, Big 12 Freshman of the Year. But you're also talking about a guy that's hungry for improvement. You know, this year in the weight room, improved his vertical jump to like 45.5 inches. Like, when you're as athletic as him and you're still improving, that's special. 3-point shooting, something he's really been working on, all sorts of things. But Tyrese is, I think he'll be one of the leaders of our team, no doubt about it. So I'm excited to coach him. Jabari Rice, same thing, man. What a story off the court. Has overcome some adversity in his life. Was really not a highly recruited guy out of high school, and just put his head down and went to work. Took his team all the way to the state championship, Final Four here in Texas. Went to New Mexico State, played for a great coach. Won championships. He's played in the NCAA tournament. He's won in the NCAA tournament. Already has his degree from New Mexico State. He's here working on post bachelor classes, and I think he'll be a guy. I'm on the record, right, several times with you guys already. I think he'll be one of those guys that people are talking about a lot that might not be talking about him right now. But both those guys are winners. They're high character guys. I was glad that you guys got to meet them today, and I appreciate everything you do for our players. Any questions?
Chris, how important was it, speaking of the winning part, when you were filling needs in the portal, to get guys that know what it takes to win in March, where you and your staff don't have to coach that?
Yeah, it really was important. Everybody has criteria. I learned a lot about criteria along the way with the different people. Bob Knight had a certain criteria that was a little bit different than, maybe, Shannon Hayes, or everybody has a different kind of thing. And it all starts with talent-based business, right? You got to have talent, whether that's skill, athleticism, size, all these things to play in the Big 12. But then you start getting into second criteria pretty quick, and it's what different people value. We value love of the game. We value guys that are obsessed with it, addicted to it, no backup plan guys. That's something really important to us. Right there in the same category is, winners. Coach Knight would always talk about, as a guy who won. Winning's something you have to learn how to do, and it's got to be part of your DNA. There's a lot of really, really good, talented players that have never won. It's hard for those guys to play at Texas because we all understand the objective and the expectations here. But, Tyrese Hunter, state champion in high school, Sweet 16 as a freshman. Jabari Rice has played in championship games everywhere he's ever been, including summer grassroots basketball. So it's really important to us. We talk about it a lot. Has this guy won? Because it's a lot easier to take winners and remind them what it's all about than to take somebody that's never won and try to explain to them everything it takes to win.
Yeah, Chris, you kind of mentioned before being obsessed with the game, and Tyrese was just talking about he was, and I think it's the same case for Jabari. When you're talking to these guys, and especially looking in the transfer portal, I guess how do you tell that they have that spark in them that you need?
Well, it's not only transfer portal. I think it's high school recruiting too. One thing is just an honest conversation. I try to tell the recruits a lot. I'd much rather listen than talk. And the first time we kind of get started, I'll give kind of I'll kind of get the foundation of what I think Texas is, why I personally came back to Texas, and we'll talk about the academics, the athletics, the city of Austin, the brand. But we try to get to pretty quick listening. And most people, including players, whether they're a high school kid or a young 20s transfer, they'll tell you what they're looking for. And so, you know early on, if a guy's talking about winning and championships and NCAA tournament, that's different than a guy that might be talking about minutes, shots, and name, image, and likeness. There's two different things here. So a lot of this just comes down to simple conversations and trying to get to know somebody. And if winning's important to them, you can identify it pretty quick.
What if a guy's really talented but you're a little bit put off by some of that stuff you just mentioned? What do you do in that case? Do you try to take him and hope you can change him?
Sometimes, like I said, the first thing is a talent-based business, right? It's like, if the starting four-man is 5'7", he might have all those intangibles. It's going to be pretty hard to play at Texas. So you got to have the game. It's a talent-based business, period. Then you start getting into, your identity and what you're looking for. But we also have some non-negotiables. If a guy has a selfishness to him where he doesn't really care about the team, then I can honestly say we've turned down a lot of great players over the years, like really, really good, high-ranked players, probably not going to be a fit for us. But yeah, do you work with guys? Absolutely. But are there some non-negotiables? Yes. If you're a guy around here that doesn't want to play hard, probably not the place for you, And so, yeah, some non-negotiables, that's our word choice.
Two last ones for Coach, please. Chris, with Jabari specifically, he was talking about his relationship with TJ Ford, how TJ kind of really believed in him on the grassroots circuit. Did you or anybody on the staff talk to TJ a lot or have that communication with him to kind of get some background on Jabari and your recruitment?
Yeah, absolutely. We're always talking to TJ. And a special thing about TJ Ford, one of many, is that's not just about players that might be recruited by the University of Texas. TJ takes pride in everyone really from that Houston area all the way into the Texas area and then really all the way into his position nationally as a point guard. But if you're a player that loves basketball and you're living in the Houston, Texas area, regardless of where your level might be in college basketball, TJ Ford's probably got some kind of relationship with you at some level, maybe directly, maybe you're blessed in that way, maybe through his gym, his teams, through high school coach. But TJ's a guy that doesn't just care about the University of Texas basketball, although he does. He's on the record on that. He also just cares about young people and the game of basketball and helping people. So to hear that he had a relationship with Rice, that doesn't surprise me at all. And yes, we talked about Rice a lot when we were recruiting him to TJ.
Coach, last year you talked about one of the things on your bucket list is to meet Shaq and Charles Barkley. Do you see them coming to a game this season? Did anyone reach out to them?
Not to my knowledge, but I do know that it's my understanding that Shaq does have a relationship in some way with the city of Austin. I've heard from multiple people that he spends time in Austin from time to time. So I'm not sure whether that be, growing up in the San Antonio area or something like that. I don't know what the connection is, but I know that if he's ever in Austin, I'll try to go meet him. Then Charles, it's just kind of like a man crush. I've had a chance to meet him a few times over the years. My fondness of him, obviously basketball, but also Pat Knight used to work for the Phoenix Suns when Charles was playing, so there's a relationship there. But my two things with those guys, obviously, I think their humor is like second to none. That's my favorite show on television. I go to, not to bed, but I enjoy that every night. It's always on the secondary TV when we're working all season long. But I also think, man, those are just like two guys that get life, man. Those are two good human beings that get life, and I don't think they're self-promoters, kind of fluffy guys, but I know personally they do a lot with charity and helping people, but they don't just hold a press conference and tell you what they're doing. But I'm convinced those are two of the best human beings on our planet, and they just happen to be basketball guys. So my respect for them is twofold, life and basketball. Open invitation to Shaq or Charles if they ever want to come to Austin. Open invitation.
Thanks all. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Chris.
Appreciate it, guys.